All right. Well, welcome to this workshop on the Uglii Locator service. Uglii Systems have launched the Locator service, which is designed for businesses that either have a lot of outlets, or they're a brand owning business that has a lot of resellers. It can also be used by governments for various purposes. So what we'd like to do is go through and show you how you can create a locator, and through that we'll talk about various uses as we go. We're logged in as just an ordinary business here called My Uglii Business, which is one we've just created for this demonstration. And on the business unit control panel, we have a locator button down here. Okay, Brett, let's open up and create a locator. Okay, so as you can see, there's none here, so Brett's going to click on the Add New, and we will create our locator. Now, a locator sits in an iframe of the business's website and will show only those uglies that the business wants to display from that. So they're either its authorised resellers, its own stores, or its membership if it's a chamber of commerce or whatever. So we're going to call this locator my Uglii Business Locator. You need to put the URL in here because it will verify that this is a bona fide locator. So it's important that you use the URL that you're going to be displaying the locator from. We've also chosen a logo which will come up as instead of the dot on the map, it will show that that logo on the map.
So the URL, Robert, is the business, whether it be Bunnings or whatever, remember www.bunnings.com.
Exactly, and it doesn't need to go down to the page level, being just the domain name is sufficient, and it will accept that. Okay, so we've now set the locator, and if we go into settings, you'll see there's a range of settings here that allow you to create the look and feel of the locator that you want. For example, you can show keywords, or you can hide keywords. So if it's a locator of a membership or a loyalty program, for instance, you may want to allow the searchers to actually use keywords to find the particular business they're looking for. But if it was, say, a Bunnings chain of stores, then there probably won't be keywords. It'll be simply a matter of defaulting to that store. You can also show, where it says show product, it actually is show the products and services codes of Uglii brand. You may select attributes, which may well be a sales centre as one attribute and a service centre as another attribute. And of course, searcher may well want to show select all of those. And some of them, of course, could be both a sales and service centre. So you can create attributes that you want to display and allow people to refine their search in that. Show map provider is something that we will be adding later to allow you to select the maps that you're most comfortable with, which may be a range of commercially offered maps or some open source maps that we will be including in the locator down the track. You can simplify the search so that you just have basic search, or you can show the full advanced searches that we'll be doing. Let's just leave it at basic search for now. Now you can also centre it in the centre of, if you're a local chamber of commerce, you might want to centre it in your town, in which case you can put the latitude and longitude of the centre of that, and select the radius that shows the complete area that your chamber of commerce covers. You can also limit the results You can go up to a maximum of 200 or down to 1 if you only wanted to show 1. For some businesses, they don't want to give away their complete supplier list, and so they want to restrict it down to a small number, and it will only show whatever maximum you put there. I think we'll put in there. Let's say we'll put in 10 for now, and we can leave. If you leave latitude and longitude at 0, it will centre on the centre of your country. So we'll leave those and we'll put a radius of, let's say, 2,000 to cover most of Australia.
Robert, can we just clarify the result count, please? Just so, for example, you have a large organisation that has branches all around Australia, may have 50 branches.
Yep.
That's what you're talking about, isn't it?
They can set it for 50,
Yep.
and it will show all of
them.
those that are in there. If they've got 2,000 in there, it will go to a maximum of 200 at any given time.
Yep.
That will show up on the map.
Okay.
But where we've set it at 10, if I show the whole of Australia, it'll show me the closest 10 to the centre of that search.
Yep. So if a person was to search for that business and that store locator, they may search from, say, Melbourne. Do they put the parameters in, say 50 kilometres, and will it show the results from that 50 kilometres?
It'll show the centre, that's the default search.
Okay.
Of
yep.
course, the searcher, they know where they are and they put in their location.
Yep. Yep.
After that. So it will show around the centre of the search.
Yep.
That has been selected here. Here it will show in the centre of Australia.
Okay. So how do we cope with a situation where we have a reseller locator service that may have 2,000 resellers of their products and services?
If they wanted to show a large number of them at any given time, they would put 200 in here.
Yep.
And that's all it's going to show. They're not going to show the whole of Australia. Now that's simply a matter that it's for the searcher. It's going to take a long time to load.
Yep.
And they're not interested in knowing the full picture of
They're
that.
looking for.
They're looking for a particular area. You know,
Yeah.
they're looking for a business that will supply what they're looking for within their area.
Within their 20-kilometre radius or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So all the businesses will be displayed, but just not all at once.
Not all at once, yeah. So if I was in Dandenong and I was looking for JB Hi-Fi, it will show all the JB Hi-Fis within the parameters that I've put in there. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. So it will always show you the closest up to whatever you put in here as the maximum.
Yep.
Now, let's just look at countries now. Now, you'll notice that it's selected 1 here, and that is because we're an Australian business, and we must have a locator in our own country. However, we can also include other countries. So we could, let's say that we're in Australia. We want to be in New Zealand, because we also have stores there, and let's say we've got some in Fiji as well. Okay. Now, okay, so there's our locator. It shows that we're in 3 countries, and we haven't got any uglies in there. We've included our logo, and we have. This is not public. Now, the meaning of the term public in this sense is that when I put brands codes in there, they will go into the uglies and be displayed from all of the affiliates of the ugly system. So they'll appear in any search. It doesn't mean that the locator is any more public or includes any uglies that you haven't included in your locator service. Okay, so if we go back and complete the editing process. And we'll add our uglies. Now, Brett's just taking a copy of our global ugly number here. That is unique to our business, and every business that's registered in the ugly system has its own ugly number. So it's a way that we can grab the uglies of the businesses that particular business owns, simply by them supplying us as the brand owner. So we can say, you must register in here and send us your ugly number, and we will include you. So let's go search. And these are the 3 Uglies that are owned by our business here. We can select them all simply by ticking that box, or we can pick out the ones we want and select and deselect as we go. So let's save those. And that shows our Uglies. Now let's go back, and we're going to add some more Uglies, but these ones are ones that we don't own. No, let's add existing Uglies. And we'll search by keyword. Now, a tip here for businesses is that when they're going to create a locator service, to let the businesses know that they want to include a keyword that they can easily identify and can easily find those businesses. Now,
such as a brand.
Such as a brand, or it might be XYZ123, or something that is unique and identifies and will only bring up those businesses. So it may be something that you just get them to put in temporarily so you can find them easily and put them in the locator. Now, we've asked all the businesses that we want to, whose Uglies we want to include in here, to put in the keyword test. So let's search for those. And there's a range of them, and they're all our good friends. So, except for a couple. So what we might do is select all, and then we can delete this one because we know that's not us. Yep. And someone would go through the list and make sure that these businesses are the ones they want to include. Once you've done that, you can click Save. And there's our list of businesses that we're including in our locator. Now, you can also create an Ugly, and this will only create in your own country. And it will only create a grey Ugly, which means it is unverified by the system, and the system clearly tells searchers that that we can't vouch for this business because the owner hasn't taken ownership of it and verified that it's its business, and that's why it'll remain grey until that business selects it. However, it is a way that someone can create a locator service, make it useful to end users, and at the same time give notice to its resellers or those businesses whose Uglies it wants to include, that they become part of, that they take ownership and they direct them to an affiliate's website where they can take ownership of those Uglies. They will become black, which means that they are verified in the system.
So, Robert, when a store locator is created, the businesses that are in the system, whatever colour they are existing, whether they are blue, green, or black, will remain as that in the system on the store locator.
On the store locator, yes, that's right. So if they've got a website linked to them, that website still links. The only difference is they won't be a blue dot if I, as the locator service owner, has put my logo in there, and that's what it will appear on the dot. Okay, now I think it might be time that we had a little preview of what our locator looks like. And we selected 10, so it's showing me 10 services. Let's just close that now and go up to 200 just to. No, yeah, that's on. Settings. Yep. And if we preview that and there we will have the full number of locators of Uglies that are included in our locator, At the moment, it doesn't distinguish. It places them in order between blue dots at the top, and then green dots, which are which have a brochure attached to them, and then the black dots, and then the greys below that.
So it doesn't differentiate there. It shows the logo that you've put in the system.
Shows the logo. What will happen is that the font colours will change. So these will be blue, black, green, black, and grey, and that will be uploaded in the next upload in a couple of weeks. So that's our locator. This is what we provide, and it sits within an iframe on the page of in the website of the business that's purchased the locator.
So they will do that by taking that URL, putting it in their page. Is that correct? Is that how they do it?
Yeah, we simply provide them with that URL. It draws all of the settings that they have put into it, and will deliver the locator the way they have defined it. Okay. Now, Brett, I think we might go back to settings, and we might just add some attributes. We can actually set attributes now, and they'll be added in the next outlook. Right now, the locator service is a single attribute service, but pretty soon you'll be able to add attributes and have a drop, and so that the searchers can select from a drop down menu of all the attributes you've got. Okay. So we're going to add an attribute. Let's call it sales. And we save that, and then let's add another one and call that service centre or service. What that will provide on the locator search page is now a drop-down box: sales, service, and all. All will be included by default. But we can't show you that in the preview because it's not there as yet. Okay, now the way I think we might, let's go back to basic details. Or have we saved that yet? Yeah. Okay, now just before we go to purchase, let's just go back and change countries to one. And save. Okay, so we've got a total of 43 Uglies in our locator, and let's go and purchase. Okay, we've added that to our cart. As you can see, there's one item in there, and we can go to checkout and continue to pay from there. If we decide at this point that we're really not ready to go to that, and we want to add some more Uglies, rather than go and pay for this and then reduce the expiry time later, and I'll explain that in a minute, we can simply click on the locator service and delete it from our shopping cart. Shows there's nothing there, and now we're back to here. So it's all that we've built still remains in our locator management panel, sitting there waiting for us to do whatever we want to do before we go to the shopping cart and pay for it. Okay, now the pricing for Australia and for our Tier 1 countries, which are developed countries, it is $500 per year for that facility in a country, like in Australia, plus there's a $4 fee per Ugly that you include in the locator. Now, I did mention that once you've bought the locator service, you can add Uglies to it, which of course, rather than go back and pay $4 for each Ugly you include, what will happen is that your expiry date will be recalculated and will shrink based on the number of uglies you've added. So, and for each ugly, it's $4 per year. So it will recalculate. So you'll lose a couple of days expiry rather than have to go back to the shopping cart and pay for small amounts. And then it'll just recalculate. You'll see the expiry date. You will get renewal notice a month before it expires, and away you go. Now, so getting back to who can use a locator service, it can be a business with many of its own outlets. It can be a business that has many resellers. It can be an organisation that wants to show the location of its members. It could be a loyalty program that wants to show participating merchants, or a credit card that wants to show its merchants. And various other uses. A radio station could use it as a promotion to show the outlets that are part of its winter promotion for holidays or restaurants or whatever. There's a myriad of uses. That's why we've called it the Locator service, because we don't know all the uses that will be found for this.
Local government facilities. Local facilities in local government would be ideal.
Well, we've actually got another service coming out for local government, because local governments could use this, but we're thinking that they won't want to be in charge of adding an ugly each time. And this Locator service puts the owner of the service in charge of in full control of which uglies will be displayed from this. So no matter whether someone selects a keyword, it will still only draw from that pool of uglies that have been put into this locator. Local governments would probably prefer one that just was set to show the businesses that are located in their local government area. And that service will be coming out fairly soon. Okay, any further questions?
Just to clarify, Robert, company purchased a store locator today, 50 locations, and in a month's time or 2 months' time has another 4 locations to add to it. Obviously, it's a 12-month period.
Yep.
How is that managed?
Look, there's a very complicated formula that will work out exactly how many days that will take off their period. So just the calculation works, and it's all worked out in block days based on the value. So it's a formula that will take those days off.
So it expires at the same time. Simple as.
Everything expires at the same time. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Yeah. That's why we've set it up that way, so that one service, even if you put them on the day before it expires, it'll just bring it forward, and you'll be asked to renew.
Beautiful. It's very easy to manage too, Robert. Far easier to manage than a standalone store locator on a website.
Oh, yeah.
Adding businesses, taking businesses out.
Yeah,
as well.
and as you could see, if we left it to Brett and he didn't have to wait for me to talk, he would have had that done in 5 minutes.
Yep.
Obviously it takes a little while to get the businesses to add that keyword, but once that's done, either by ugly number, ABN, keyword, or product and service code, you can build a locator very quickly. And there's probably another 5 minutes work in getting your web developer to actually create the iframe for that to go in. And the system will provide you with the URL that identifies who you are and that you're a bona fide locator owner. So.
The beauty of that is that once it's in and you change it here, it's updated, isn't it?
Yes.
Simple.
Yep. Yep. So the features that we will add to this will go to all of the locators that have been purchased prior to any upgrades we make. So every locator client benefits from all upgrades, just as any business that registers with our system does.
So, because there's a lot of large businesses that already have store locators within their website, they'd see this as being of interest as part of the Uglii system.
Look,
as well.
There's a couple of advantages, and thank you for bringing up. And a huge advantage is that they can put the keywords and the Uglii brands codes into those uglies, so that they're going to be discovered across all of the affiliate websites. So that's number one, that having a standalone locator does not do. Secondly, it's maintenance of all that information. Whereas that's decentralised here. We provide a lot of incentive for businesses to keep their information up to date because they'll appear further up the list rather than go down to a grey dot that's unverified and we won't vouch for it. So there's a lot of reasons why a business that has a current locator will swap to this. Simply maintenance alone will be a huge saving.
So in swapping, that means would they not use the present one they've got, or would they just end up with two locators?
I think eventually they would drop what they're currently using and quickly set up with the same data. We will also be providing batch uploads that can go into so that the locator service can just upload via a spreadsheet the uglies that it wants in there, and quickly find those businesses simply by putting a list of ABNs in there, for instance, if it was in Australia.
All right. Yes, I was trying to clarify, because this will be all part of their website already. So if their website is able to be searched, say through Google or another Yahoo or whatever, the Uglii locator will still
Absolutely
be there to use.
Absolutely.
So I'm just trying to put that together.
Yep, they will still be found by Google and any other search engine. It doesn't cut anything out. In fact, we're building in parts of our process so that we will allow all of our business data to be indexed by search engines to make it easier to be found. All right. Well, thank you all for coming.